we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's good. I do apologize for the lack of content over the week. I caught myself a little flu bug, and it's not good, so eat your vitamins. Knocked me on my ass. No kidding, man. But let's talk Boomer Bust week number 16 as we're getting into the semifinals of these fantasy football playoffs. Road to the championship. We need those trophies. I got you covered. Let's start with running backs, man. Devin off the A-chain. A-chain dealing with a toe injury, but they're saying he is going to play this week versus these Dallas Cowboys. 139 points, 50% on the boom rate since coming back from his injury. I mean, A-chain hasn't necessarily consistently blown up for us like we're used to, having only one boom game in the past three. It's a massive contest versus these Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, dealing with that toe injury, Coach McDaniel did say that he's going to suit up in this contest, and Miami should definitely take a page out of the Buffalo Bills playbook and run wild. So I'm saying run, baby, run. Back to boom for Devin off the A-chain. A-chan. Austin Eckler, next one on the board. 45% boom rate for Eckler. It has not been a good season. Nothing short of being an absolute disaster. I mean, Eckler has busted 4 of the last 5 games, crushing your fantasy team in the process, likely getting you out of the semifinals. Hopefully you had better options to help carry your team. And facing the Bills this week in what should be, one game left for pride, basically, for these Chargers left. No Herbie, no Keenan Allen, and I think you would honestly believe these Chargers would ride Austin Eckler, but they have not been doing that. I mean, the Bills came out strong with this. They need a statement tune-up as they've been playing extremely well. Get everybody back in the mix for the Buffalo Bills. You got to believe they're going to come out extremely strong. Volume should be here for an Austin Eckler, but the Bills should key in on him a lot. I'm calling a bust once again for an Austin Eckler. It has not been a good season, man. Tony Pollard, Dallas Cowboys, 169 points, 57% on the boom rate. And these Cowboys, they fell back down to earth last week thanks to my Buffalo Bills taking one on the chin in a blowout loss. Facing the Dolphins, like I said, in a big contest for both teams to stay on top of the standings. Pollard has boomed in 4 of the last 5 contests, which has been very good. And the Cowboys, they got to get back to the ground game, control the clock just a little bit more, especially versus high-octane Miami Dolphins offense, who is likely getting back Tyreek Hill this week as well. Coming off a bust game, Pollard will get his work this week. No kidding. Boom time for Tony once again this week. King Henry, Derrick Henry, 186 points, 64% on the boom rate. And I mean, I truly believe we are in the midst of seeing, the decline, a creep up just a little bit for Derrick Henry. And I mean, while he has been good so far this season, the full-blown takeovers haven't been as prevalent this year. But I mean, it does come to pass because you're dealing with rookie quarterbacks and an offense that is anemic most of the time. Full-blown takeovers haven't been here, like I'm saying, booming in only 50% since week 10. It's not what we expect from Derrick Henry. The Titans are playing for pride, basically, and could use a Spears a little bit more to see what they got in this man if they intend to move on from Derrick Henry this season. However, facing the Hawks, like I said, playing for pride, we should see a good dose for King Henry. We're talking boom for Derrick Henry once again for y'all in the semifinals. Should be good. Brandon Ayuk for these 49ers, 172 points, 61% on the boom rate. Ayuk has had a very good season, ranking as a wide receiver 13 in half PPR scoring. It's been very good, man. Having boomed in 6 of the last 7, he has absolutely been fantastic in terms of consistency. However, facing these Ravens in a massive showdown, big attention should be angled toward Ayuk in this one as well. We could, still play him, I do believe, but I do believe we got to temper the expectations just a little bit. He did bust last week, so I'm calling back-to-back bust games for a Brandon Ayuk. More focus for Debo continues with CMC and potentially George Kittle this week for me. Zay Flowers in that same contest, 132 points, 28% on the boom rate. This rookie has not been great. The excitement of the laptop and usage for this rookie has been frustrating, man. I'm telling y'all, while the Ravens don't use Flowers like Houston uses Tank Dell, it's a glaring mystery. Why don't you utilize this man in a similar likeness? I do not get it. Having boomed only twice since week 7, how can we trust Zay to give us what we require? He is dealing with a knee injury, but there's no indication that he's going to miss this contest facing a 49ers defense that does possess some holes on that back end and can be gashed at times if schemed up appropriately. There is some risk here for the semifinals, but man, I've been preaching up Zay a lot, so I'm going to roll in a big way. Boom! boom time for this rookie once again in the biggest opportunities for us in the fantasy football playoffs. Tyler Boyd, he's 99 points right now. He's 21%. He's been basically an afterthought this entire season. And when Joey B went down for the year, all hope seemed to be lost for this pass attack. But Jake Browning has kept it all alive. And I mean, the new injury to Jamar Chase has definitely opened up the door for a Tyler Boyd. T. Higgins should see, wide receiver 1 target share once again in this contest. He did ball out this past week. Should again see a lot coming his direction. Boyd should act as that great complement versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I called him a big waiver wire pickup this week, and he should aid in pushing us to these finals. Great flex play for y'all. I'm calling a boom for a Tyler Boyd. I got to believe, man, a touchdown is coming for this wide receiver, man. It's got to come, man, and I believe it, especially this week versus these Pittsburgh Steelers. Devontae Smith-Smitty, 166 points, 57% on the boom rate. And okay, the Eagles seemingly look broken right now, and they need to get back on track. Ever since the Buffalo Bills game, they have not looked great, man. The pass game has sputtered, has been up and down with Jalen Hurts as of late, but I mean, facing this Giants team who was very beatable, and I mean, with Smitty, I mean, he's primed for a big one to come back. Getting back to the run and setting up the play-action pass should be the MO of this Eagles team in this contest. You got to believe Philly needs a get-right game in a very big way in a huge divisional showdown to stay pat with these Dallas Cowboys in the division. We're calling a boom for Smitty after busting 2 weeks in a row, even though he is dealing with an injury as well. Haven't seen any word that he's going to miss this contest either. Tight end time, Kyle Pitts, 93 points, 21% on the boom rate. Been a terrible season for him as well. Last week, I did have Kyle Pitts on the bust, and I was correct in that matter. But this week, I'm going to flip gears and preach the opposite with Tyler Heineke. He's back behind center. At least we know he's going to take more chances, gunslinger style, and feed this core of wide receivers and tight ends like a Drake London, like a Kyle Pitts. At least we know he's going to take more chances, man. Pitts is the tight end 14 right now on the season with his meek numbers. Like I said, a few more touchdowns. He could even uplift himself back into the top 10. And having only boomed in one game in the last 8, it has been an awful season for Kyle Pitts. But I mean, we should see a lot more target share coming his way. And I'm thinking TD upside, boom, for a Kyle Pitts this week. He's got to find his way back in the end zone. It's been far too long for Kyle Pitts. David Njoku, 132 points, 50% on the boom rate. All it took for David Njoku to be a fantasy darling is the addition of Joe Flacco. Okay, no disrespect. Joe Flacco, he's been absolutely great since joining the Brownies, and we got to give him his due praise, man. He's been fantastic feeding this tight end on the regular. We got finally Njoku looks like the tight end, the dominant tight end that we all thought he could be. He had all the ability for days, the athletic ability, the speed, the way to catch the football. Now we finally see it booming off the charts the last 2 weeks in a row. Run the football and pass to Njoku seems to be the plan. Business is booming for a David Njoku this week. I'm going to call it once again. He has just been far too good to put on your bench. Jake Ferguson, 119 points right now in the season, 50% on the boom rate. And okay, while Ferguson has basically been a must-start tight end so far, since week 2, week 3, he's been very good. He's only boomed so far 2 times in the last 5 games, does pose some concern. But teams have been, dedicating coverage over to his side just a little bit to this up-and-coming tight end star facing the Finns, who do play better pass coverage over these last several contests as a whole. Covering CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson should be the point of emphasis for these Miami Dolphins this week. He will get his targets, but he will likely need a touchdown to save his day and be a boom game this week again. We can play Ferguson, but be very weary because I think a bust is coming again his way this week. Last one I got is Dallas Goedert, the Philadelphia Eagles, 82 points on the board, 18% on the boom rate. Since breaking his forearm, it has not been good. Dallas Goedert has been slowly trying to get his feet back, football feet back under him, his football legs back under him, having big influence in the run blocking has been very good. So we should see the rushing upside once again take a paramount focus for these Eagles as they try to set up the, play action pass, get Jalen Hurts more comfortable once again. Hurts hasn't looked in Dallas Goedert's direction a lot in these last 2 games. Perhaps this is the week that they do use Dallas Goedert a little bit more. If Smitty does end up up sitting this week, then maybe we do see Goddard utilized a lot more, but I don't foresee Smitty sitting. But I do believe they want to get this offense back on track, which could mean some more passes to his direction. However, I do believe you got to get grown-ass man A.J. Brown and Smitty back on the menu to be those big point getters this week. I'm calling a bust once again for Dallas Goedert. I am not trusting it, not liking it. We got to see more out of this Eagles team to Goddard before we can trust. But there you have it. That is week number 16. Boomer bust. Who's going to boom? Who's going to bust? Got my predictions for you here. I will have start sit for you like always on Saturday, so definitely stay tuned for that. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.